On December 23rd, 1990, Steve Robinson, his wife Melinda, and their 3-year-old daughter Brittany were getting ready for the holidays at their home in Elkins, West Virginia. But before they had time to open a single gift, they were wondering how much Christmas has to do with miracles after all. It had been snowing on and off all day, and the temperature that night was expected to drop well below freezing.
Brittany, she'd asked me all day long to bake her Christmas cookies. She wanted her M&M ones made first. Then we made chocolate chip. And then I tried to get her to come in and put the sprinkles on top of the cookies. And she said, no, I want to watch my cartoons.
We were watching some TV specials, Christmas specials, and Brittany kind of got tired of baking cookies. But she came back to the living room and laid down on the floor, and I got her a pillow and a couple covers. She laid and watched TV and fell asleep about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
I had fell asleep with the TV on, too. Then I woke up at 3 o'clock. Brittany was sound asleep, so I just left her there with her covers and her pillows. And I went on into the bedroom and went to sleep.
Steve, honey, it's 9:30. Has Brittany been in here?
Brittany usually comes in our bedroom every morning around 7. It was real strange waking up knowing that she hadn't woke us up yet.
I come out here and I seen the front door open and it scared me.
Brittany?
So then I went into her bedroom.
Brittany, honey?
And she wasn't in there.
Brittany? Steve, Brittany's gone.
What's going on?
I don't know. I can't find her.
I was very scared because I didn't think she would do something like that. I really didn't know where to think she was at.
Brittany! Brittany!
I thought she might have went to one of the neighbors' house, or Auntie Paul and Sherry's house to play with their little girl Megan, because we take her up there all the time to play.
Oh, have you seen Brittany?
No.
And they said they hadn't seen her.
I can't find her anywhere.
Brittany?
Brittany!
At that point, I thought someone had kidnapped her. I was very panicked.
Brittany?
We had gotten 2 trailers past ours, and that's when I looked over, and I seen her laying there.
I really went blank at first. All I can remember doing is just seeing her and grabbing her. Brittany was white. Her eyes were open, like she was dead.
Emergency squad.
At 10 a.m., the call came in to the Randolph County Communication Center. An ambulance from Randolph County EMS was immediately dispatched to the scene.
Here.
I didn't think there was any hope when I seen her laying there. At that point, I had to go back in the bedroom. I just couldn't stand there and look at her because I thought she was dead.
Come on, honey, breathe for me.
Neighbor Paul Owens began doing CPR on 3-year-old Brittany.
I started feeling for her pulse. I couldn't find the pulse.
Come on, honey.
I tried to hear her, see if she was breathing, and she wasn't.
Honey.
Within 5 minutes, paramedic Brenda Daly and her partners arrived on the
Stop
scene.
breathing. Well, what happened? They found her in the snow.
When I picked her up, nothing moved on this child. This child was frozen, literally frozen stiff.
Come on, give him some room. Give him some room. Come on.
You know, when you take a piece of frozen meat out of the freezer, when I put my mouth on hers, that's exactly what it felt like.
There's no pulse.
Everything that was going through my mind right then was, please, God, this is a kid. This is Christmas Eve. Don't do this to me. I don't know if I can handle this.
Hyperventilator for at least 3 minutes.
Still asystole? No pulse, Brenda.
I see the vocal cords were in.
We placed hot packs in her groin area, in her armpits.
And I kept hearing them working on her, and I'd get got more upset the more I heard them. I was just worried, you know, is she going to make it? If she makes it, what's going to be wrong with her?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Watching the emergency squad people work on her was a real scary thought, you know, because I wasn't sure she was going to make it at all.
Okay, Doug, what do we got?
Brenda called into the Morgantown Medical Command Center, where Dr. John Prescott was on duty.
I have a 3-year-old pediatric cardiac arrest. May I speak to a physician?
Hey, Dr. Prescott, go ahead.
Child was found outside by parents this morning. Unknown at time out for cold exposure. This time, the child is in full cardiac arrest.
There's an old adage in emergency medicine that no one is dead until they're warm and dead. If you approach their normal body temperature and their body doesn't respond, their heart doesn't respond, then it's appropriate to consider the patient dead.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Not knowing how cold the child was, we began with a standard advanced cardiac life support protocol and decided to give the child some medications down the endotracheal tube. It's Christmas Eve and a 3-year-old girl, and we could literally hear the emotion in their voices as they were taking care of this child.
It just scared the daylights out of me. It was unbelievable, the thoughts that go through your mind. I was praying to God that he would spare her and give her at least a chance.
Brittany was rushed to Davis Memorial Hospital, where Dr. John Veach took over her care.
When Brittany came in, she was in fact clinically dead. She was pulseless and had no spontaneous respiration. We found, in fact, that she was profoundly hypothermic at 74 degrees.
1, 2, 3.
We continued CPR, and it was our hope that this hypothermia had protected her vital organs, and that as we warmed her, we would get a response. But no pulse, still flatline.
Right now, I really can't tell you how she's going to do. We're still rewarming because she is still very cold at this time. Okay, we're doing everything that we can for her.
The doctors and the nurses kept coming in like every 25 minutes, telling us still no change, but her temperature was coming up. I was trying to, like, kind of close my eyes. Every time I closed my eyes, I'd see the baby.
1, 2, 3. We're sticking a tube into the stomach and giving warmed fluids to help reheat from the core.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
When her core body temperature had risen to 80 degrees, we saw some electrical activity on the monitor.
It was like, well, she's getting warm. Something's happening here.
Let's stop CPR and see if we have a pulse with that electrical activity. When her temperature had risen another degree or two, we detected a faint pulse, and she began, in fact, to have some respiratory efforts of her own at that point.
Right before they took her out to the ambulance, they let me see her again.
Mommy's here.
I was in hysterics when I looked at her. They're trying to tell me what they've done to her, and I wasn't really listening. I was just looking at my baby. I said, would it be all right if Brittany has her doll with her? And they said yes.
There's your dolly, Brittany.
They had her eyes taped shut, the tubes in her throat. The only thing you could see was her little nose sticking out.
Still unconscious, with a weak pulse, Brittany was taken by ambulance to the airport to be flown the 60 miles to Children's Hospital in Pittsburgh. Her parents could not go with her.
Going down in the ambulance, she became very restless.
Be okay, sweetheart.
When you have a patient who is severely hyperthermic, you need to be very careful not to disturb them too much. If they have a slow cardiac rhythm, you could change that very quickly into a bad rhythm.
Santa Claus is coming to see you.
As long as we had conversation with her and were paying attention to her, she would lay still.
Bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in one-horse open sleigh.
And she would not fight her ET tube as long as we would sing the little children's Christmas tunes to her. We were very euphoric. It was like a bonding was taking place between all three of us and this child who 3 hours before had no signs of life. It is just like giving birth. She has bonded with us. It's kind of like she's part of us. She's a part of me.
At Children's Hospital, Brittany continued her remarkable recovery. 12 days after Christmas, she was released.
Getting her home and letting her enjoy having Christmas that she had missed while she'd been in the hospital. That was the best time for me. Like everyone said, it was a real Christmas miracle.
Brittany has had some difficulty with motor function with the muscles in her lower extremities and in her left upper extremity, but that seems to be improving day by day. She's doing quite well in physical therapy, and we all look forward to a full recovery.
I still am surprised at the miracles that happen. Every once in a while, a true miracle will happen in an emergency department. And I've learned that you just don't give up hope.
He goes with you to parties. She's determined to walk and to get her hands back because of the baby coming. She wants to take care of it.
Though she has several months of physical therapy ahead of her, Brittany sustained no permanent injuries.
I learned that you don't underestimate your 3-year-old and that we're going to put special locks on the door to where she can't get out.
Everybody did a good job. Paul, the DMH here in Elkins Rescue Squad. I like the way they worked with her, the care they took.
This child survived 3 hours of CPR, being down in the cold for God knows how long. I feel that to survive all this and overcome this, she has a purpose. She has a very special purpose.